Yeah, I think you are able to see. See, for customer creation, we said FD01. Okay, FD01. This is for customer creation. Same for vendor creation, FK01. Even we can do XK01 also, XK01. It will be same. Okay. So FK01. Now I have created here four types of account groups. Okay. Account group, if you go function key F4. Okay, I will take Control F, OK. You see here, there are four types of account group. These four types of account group I have created, out of which one is one-time vendor. Like one-time customer, this is one-time vendor. Okay, once in a while we buy material with cash, and we don't maintain any vendor ledgers in his name. Okay, so yesterday we had created one, I think two vendor codes we have created, one with respect to material and service vendor, one we have created with consultant, and now we will create one with loan also, secured loan. Like, okay, this is the account group which I have selected, because each account group I have given different number series. Okay, now I will do enter. Now we have to give details of vendor. See, if you see, like yesterday we have discussed, it is same like customer. Okay, whatever customer we do enter the details, the same way we have to enter details here. Just some name I have typed. Okay, and search term. Country, IN, and region 13. 13 region is of Maharashtra as per standard settings of. Then phone number, all these general details you can mention. And SIN number, where you have to mention sales tax, VAT number, excise duty, okay, and withholding tax, TAN number. So this is important for vendors. Without PAN number, TDS cannot be deducted. Okay, so we have to mention PAN number. Then we can go to next screen. Then here, if you have a same customer vendor, then you can give customer code. This also I have shown yesterday, that if you update here, suppose the same fellow is there in our customer also, then we can mention here the customer number and the bank details, bank account details of the vendor. Same like customer, whatever details were there, contact person details, and reconciliation account. Reconciliation account, here I have maintained, you see here, function key, trade payable, there are two reconciliation accounts. I will take MSME, this is trade payable MSME. Sorting key is again how it should reflect in the while we generate line items. And payment terms, if you have any payment terms, you can put Otherwise, you can keep it blank also. You can use payment types at the time of invoice booking also. Now this is dunning is interest calculation purposes. This is this we have not touched upon. So right now I will leave it blank. See, basically in dunning, there is a procedure for sending reminders. This is dunning is mostly used for customers, not for vendors. Okay, so customers, what will happen if customer is not making the payment in time? Then you can send reminders to customers. Maximum, I think 4 reminders you can send. This only theoretical we can explain because there is no. It is a communication kind of thing. First it will be a soft reminder. Next, a little harsh reminder. Then third time serious reminder. Fourth time legal notice. Okay, so that procedure within how many days you want to send that notices, that depends upon the procedure whatever you have configured in the system. So that configuration, that series number, if you give like payment terms, this is also will be the same way. Then accordingly, system will send the notices to those people. Like email IDs, if it is updated, then it will send the email IDs. That is the dunning procedure. So if it is customer, then it is a interest we have to receive, so it will send the notices to them. And this is the withholding tax. I have configured 2-3 withholding tax. So here I will take this 10% invoice, and yesterday I could not configure that @K because it was configuration was not complete. That's why it was not picking up. Manidhar, yesterday @K was not getting captured because it was not completely configured. That is the reason it didn't get captured. So I checked the reason why it is not capturing. So that was the reason. See, I have selected 10% TDS this thing. Okay, this is I have configured 194C and 194J only. That's the reason I have selected 194J here. Okay, we have to configure if we require. This is anyway. This is we are testing and we are learning. So I have not configured all the because process is same. Only we have to select which tax code it implies. Okay, so now you see here 194 10% on invoice, 194J payment on invoice, whichever is earlier we do. So with this vendor creation will be completed. Now vendor number has been created. 6200003304 is created in company code Aura. Okay, this is the procedure for creating the vendor. Now I will go and book the invoice to this again. Like I said, for customers, even for vendors, creation is not at end user level. It is again with functional consultant only. Okay. So now I will raise the invoice. I will account the invoice for this vendor. Like for customer, it is FB70. For vendor, it is FB60. So this is the vendor invoice. Yeah. Okay, this is the vendor invoice. Just now I created money. What is that? Money lending company. Okay, money lending company private limited. Okay. Now invoice date I will put vote date 1st January 2023. Interest for December 022. Okay, just I have put, because it is finance company, I put interest expense. Okay, so vendor invoice, he raised invoice on me for 1,18,000 because GST is also applicable. on private. If any private companies are lending, NBFCs and all, then it is interest, GST is applicable, even on interest. Okay, so I will take this Hyderabad. Interest for December 2022. Okay, I will see if there is any GL created for interest. If it is there, I will select it. Interest, again, it is 4 series. Because it is expense, it is 4 series. Loan processing fee, bank interest. Okay, we will take this because it is also interest. Let me take this and I will put basic amount 1 lakh. Tax code is already there. Value date not required, and plus I have put, and business area I am selecting. You see here I put it 1,18,000. I put here 1 lakh. Tax code is 18%. Then there should not be difference actually, but still difference is coming because this particular GL F3, this bank interest GL, we have not activated tax there. FS00, if you see FS00, if you see here for this particular account, that is expense, bank interest. If you see here, control data, you see here tax is not selected. That is the reason it is it is not getting captured. So I am going to edit tax category. I am going to select only input tax allowed because it is expense, input tax is allowed. So data is saved. Now I will refresh it. Requires a valid tax. Yeah. K2. Okay, now it became 0 because earlier that that option was not selected. That's why it was saying it is only 1 lakh. It is not 1,18,000. Now I am going to withholding tax. See, you could see the 2 codes which I have taken there. Like that, you can add any number of codes. The more you keep adding, it will keep displaying, and whichever is applicable, you can select. See, suppose now this is the invoice. You are accounting it. See, this is the invoice. You have not paid any advance to this fellow, and you are accounting the invoice now. Okay, so on payment, it is irrelevant. So you remove this. Okay, if you don't remove, it will calculate TDS there also. Okay, now this is removed. Only on this invoice only it has to be calculated. Withholding tax base currency. You need not put anything. System by default it will take base amount. Okay, so if I simulate here, you see here 1 lakh expense. I have taken input credit. That's why this is coming plus in GST input credit, SGST input credit, and TDS payable 10,000. 10,000 is calculated. 10% on bank interest. See, don't go by this, sir. On interest, it is not 194J, it is 194I, not I, 194A. Okay, don't go by that logic because I have not created 194A TDS configuration. I have not done. Okay, I could have done it because it is a little time-consuming process for TDS. TDS. There are so many steps. So I just created two 194C and 194J. Okay, but once it is created as an end user, you will be following the same process what it is, how it is to be accounted. Whether it is JH, the process will remain same. Okay, so now if you see the entry, it is bank interest basic amount. Here we got the input credit. Okay, so 9,000 CGST input credit, SGST input credit. Till now we were seeing payable. Whenever we were accounting customer invoices, it was payable, but now it is input credit. Okay, so it is the input credit, and 194J TDS payable on base amount on bank interest 10,000 rupees, and the vendor is credited with 1,08,000 after adjusting 10,000 TDS. Now error log is remaining because we have to fill in basic details. Okay, now error is gone. Now I will post it. See, document number 100001025 was posted in company code Aura. So this document is posted. You can display this document, and you see the same simulation, whatever we have seen, it is come here. Okay. Now, same way, suppose if I'm making advance payment and I am taking TDS. Okay, I will not come to payments. Let me first complete another scenario where see, in this case now 1 lakh TDS is being calculated. Okay, suppose you have made some advance payment already. You have already made some advance payment and you have deducted TDS. Okay, in that case, 1 minute, I am just noting TDS on payment. I will show it separately. And GST, no input credit. Okay, suppose TDS you have already paid on advance certain amount. So 1 lakh is the bill. As per agreement, you are supposed to pay 50,000 advance. You are supposed to pay 50,000 advance. So you have already deducted TDS on 50,000. Now you are supposed to deduct only balance 50,000, for example. Okay. In that case, how it can be, how you can do the TDS entry, I will show you. Now I will take some other vendor. Okay. Cement Authority. Okay, this already I have 194C I have already configured. Okay, this I will take 1st February 2023. 1st February 2023. Okay. See, there was some message. I will show you that. I will come out. I will take this again. See, reference is always invoice number. I've just typed it, but it is, you should always take invoice number so that you can, while reconciliation or something like that, you can verify it. If it is reference, we will mention the invoice number. Okay, now I will take no input credit. You see, no input credit tax code I will take. You see here, this one, K5. No ITC, CGST, SGST. Okay, this particular I have taken earlier with input credit. Now I am taking no input credit, and we have already deducted some TDS earlier. TDS on advance to be adjusted. This why I am writing this in a narration is when you are referring to notes or when you are referring to this ledger. Okay, this entry we have done it for this purpose. You will understand easily. That's the reason I am mentioning that. Okay. Then now I will take some other expense. I will take some professional fee. Okay, for example, professional fee. Don't go again. The TDS is not 2%. I have linked, I think, to this fellow. I have linked 2% wala. Otherwise, I can link it now again. See, there is no problem. Suppose, okay, first let me show you this, then I will link it and again I will show you. Okay. Suppose it is not that this fellow I have linked to 194C means I should deal with this fellow only with 194C. He can do any service. Tomorrow he can do some consultancy service or he can give me money for interest. Then I have to deduct TDS. So anything may happen. Okay. So now if you see his withholding tax shows only 194C. Then I realized, alright, this fellow is done. This fellow has done the services of professional fees. So I have to deduct. I have to deduct at 10%. So what I will do? I will go to vendor master data. So like customer master data, FD02 is the edit customer data. FK02. Tulsi, you were not there yesterday. See, D represents account type customer. K represents account type vendor, creditors. Okay, that's the reason K is being used. Okay, now this is the this is not the vendor I'm going to show. This vendor, you have the option. You can select all the options wherever you, whichever data you want to change. I don't want to go all these tabs. I want to only withholding tax. I check the box and I press enter. Now it is there. Now here I will go F4. See, usually this many list will not be there. See, this is all people who are practicing. I have only created 4-5 line items. So only if in real time scenario, if you see whatever codes your company has created, only that you will display and see. Okay, see, tax codes is always at country level. Okay, so once 2% is created in any company code, you will see that because you see here country key, because the tax codes is always on country level, so you will see that here you can use it. Understand? So now I want to do 194J also for this fellow. So this was the one which I have created. Okay, that is withholding tax type. If you keep the cursor, it will tell you withholding tax type, and here withholding tax code. You see here withholding tax code, and this is withholding tax type. Okay. Now I will see here F4, what is the option available? Is only one option. And another one I have created J@ for payment purpose. Okay, only if this is updated in vendor master, you will get the option there. Otherwise, you will not get either in payment or in invoicing. Okay. So whether it is liable, yes, I will put yes, and I will press enter. Okay, now these two also got it updated. You may ask me what is this exemption number, exemption percentage, exemption rate, restriction, exemption from, exemption to. You remember there is a 197 section where your vendors would have gone to IT department and they would have taken the certificate for concessional TDS. In that case, you can update here, you can view your rates, then you will see those rates only in that particular place. So this is the procedure for lower deduction of tax. Okay, it will give you the date also. From which date to which date. Okay. And what is the percentage, exempted percentage, and a certificate number. Okay, now I will save this and I will go back here and I will just simulate, and again I will go back. Now I will see withholding tax whether they are updated. No, they are not updated. So maybe I have to come out only. I will come out and I will do the entry again. See, in this example, we are seeing three scenarios at a time. One is no input. Second is TDS with lesser amount, not full amount, K5. And third, what I showed you is, suppose if you are not finding that, and adjust TDS on advance. No, that is what we have written. No GST input. Okay. And third, what I have showed you, when you have taken to enter the bill, you find there is a tax withholding tax code missing. Okay. So that also we have updated now. Now that should be available in the list of withholding taxes for this particular vendor. You see now, earlier these two were not there. Hope you are following. See, earlier these two were not available. After I went to the vendor code, I updated those, then these two have come. Fine. Now, what is applicable is on invoice, 10% on invoice, because it is a professional fee. Okay, so I am deleting other categories. Okay, I am only retaining J1 and I put enter. Okay, then what you did? You simulated. You see here now, professional fee is 2,36,000. Why? Basic amount was only 2 lakhs. Why 36,000 has been added to the expense? Because we have selected the tax code, input tax code as K5. K5 is, it was no ITC CGST, no ITC SGST, right? So that is the reason whenever you select no input tax codes, that particular GST will automatically get added to the expense GL, whichever is being selected. Okay, but TDS on GST it is not applicable. Always it is on 20,000. See, this is the domain knowledge with which you can configure your system. If I don't have this domain knowledge, what I will do, though I know the procedure, okay, I will charge TDS on 2,36,000. You understand? That's why configuration is a procedure which is set in the SAP, which can be understood very easily. It is not rocket science or something. Of course, I don't say it is easy. You with little, if you have good domain knowledge, you will set up the system very perfectly. Okay. If you don't have the domain knowledge, then how much you are expert in functional as a functional consultant, you cannot give you the right output to the end user. Okay. So this professional fees, if you see in an earlier example, here you could see only 1 lakh plus 9,000. But here total 2,36,000 and TDS 20,000. In the earlier example, 1 lakh, 9,000 and 10,000. Okay, TDS. Fine. And Cement Authority of India, whether you got input or you don't get input, you have to pay GST plus basic plus GST minus TDS. This is going to this particular vendor. Okay. Now error log is there. Now you realized I have already paid a TDS on 1 lakh. Now I should not pay on 1 lakh. I am taking, suppose I have already paid advance. Okay, I will not take 1 lakh. It will be confusing. I will take, I have paid 50,000 advance. Now I have to deduct only TDS on 1,50,000. You have realized now. Then what you will do? You will go back and you will take withholding tax code and withholding tax base currency. Here you will put, already you have deducted 50,000 TDS on 50,000. Now you are supposed to deduct only on 1,50,000. So you will put here on what TDS has to be deducted. So 1,50,000. So tomorrow auditor may question, then you might be there in the organization, you may not be there in the organization. Who will answer? Then see, auditor will take random bills and he will calculate whether invoices TDS has been properly deducted or not. Then who will explain this? Why this fellow Pradyumna has deducted only on 1,50,000 when bill is 2 lakhs? Why did he put to 1,50,000 here? So everything will go, nobody will know the answer. So what I will do, I will write it here. This is notes TDS adjusted, TDS paid on advance is adjusted while booking the invoice. You can write any number of pages here, stories. Okay. Understand? Now I will simulate again. Now my TDS should be on 1,50,000, which is 10%, and it is 15,000. You got my point? So now it is calculating on 1,50,000. Whatever figure amount you put there, suppose I will tell you another scenario. You are supposed to, you paid 50,000 advance, but you have not deducted TDS. That advance is paid for something else, okay, and you missed to account the TDS. That is yesterday within the same month. Okay, now you have to deduct TDS on 2,50,000 because you missed that 50,000, right? And that advance is pertaining to some other contract, and this invoice is of some other contract. But still, you don't want to forget payment of TDS on that 50,000. So you wanted to deduct TDS on higher amount. Okay, this is one reason I am telling. But you wanted to deduct TDS on higher amount, 2,50,000. Now enter. Instead of bill is for 2 lakhs, you see basic amount is 2 lakhs, but still you want to deduct TDS on 2,50,000. And further, if you have any story, you can write it here. TDS was not deducted on payment made on 13th March 2023 against advance for another contract, and now TDS is deducted on higher amount. Fine. Or if you have some story in your Word, okay. Even from Excel you can copy, but it will not allow you to copy. It will not allow you to copy tables. Okay. Suppose if you want to copy this, okay, you can just copy Control C and Control V. See, everything is copied. Only it will not copy, paste images and all. Or you want to attach files. See, save file. Okay, so I will go. Okay, I will go here. For example, SAP FICO class. Okay, some screenshots I have taken here. Only text files, all files. Okay, now I will go back. I will attach this Excel, save. Okay, because why it is showing it is already there, it is going to save in my system only. See, there is a server where it will get saved, that is going to save in my this thing only. It is saying that it is already exists. Otherwise, you can store data also. Understand? You can store files also if you want to save some documents. There is another provision where you can store data. I will show you. Now I have taken TDS on 2,50,000. Okay, you see here what is the message it is giving. Withholding tax base amount exceeds amount of customer vendor item number 1. This is the item number 1, line item number 1. Okay, and it says this amount is increasing more than the TDS amount is increasing more than the basic what you have mentioned here. I said it's okay. System is giving warning. You see here now TDS is deducted on 2,50,000. So if you have to deduct TDS on the same amount of the invoice, then you need not do anything. You should just check whichever tax code is applicable. Okay, depending upon the 4 stages. Suppose it is not 10% wala, okay, it is 2%, for example, and 2% it is invoice booking. So here you have to take. You see here what is the tax code available. It is C1. and you can just leave it if it is on the basic amount, and you can simulate. It will calculate at 1%. 1% is the tax code which I set it here. So it is selecting 1%. Understand? And the professional fee, because it is no input, this is going to be 2,36,000. Okay, and this error log is there. So I will go here. I will put the basic details. And I will post it. Now it will get disconnected. We will connect again. And this is the document which is created, and we can see this document. So I have showed you, if we want to deduct for lesser amount, higher amount without input